The ArtFusion Experiment was founded about 15 years ago by Filip and Tatine Liu and myself, Paul Booth. It's basically a charity-driven organization that represents the collaborative arts. It's about artists working together, teaching, learning, inspiring. And the end result, the goal, of course, is for the painting to look like one person had done it. A common brain amongst all the artists that exists only when those artists are together. That's really the magic of ArtFusion. Another key element is that it's enjoyable to watch the evolution of the painting, to see the artists interact with each other and change their minds and paint over each other, and all of that camaraderie is a very inspiring environment for many viewers. Sometimes the guys are a little hesitant getting started, so I tend to step in and kind of get the ball rolling for them. A lot of the painting that I do, especially in like the first half of the painting, is really about laying in some base shades for everyone to build on, establishing the light source in case anyone forgets, little things like that just to help them get going. But I really like to let everyone jump in and change it. I don't expect anything I draw to stay. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but what it becomes is something entirely new and fresh. It's important for its success for everyone to try and be on the same page. A common light source that we all agree upon and maintain throughout the painting, usually doing the backgrounds first so that we have something to build on, and if someone changes their mind to repaint something, there's already a background behind it, so that helps a lot. We use acrylics usually, though we're getting into oils more when it's artists that are familiar with the ArtFusion process. It's very much like a jazz improv band. Everybody jamming together, creating new sounds together, finding each other's groove, and rolling with it, and developing something together as a team. The thing is, though, whether you're a newcomer or an experienced ArtFusion artist, you always come away with inspiration. I have never experienced any form of art before that left me feeling so inspired. Being so up close and personal with fellow artists and jamming like that together, I now understand how it is with a band. Artists generally work alone. The painters sit in a room alone and paint all night, listening to the music or whatever. But you know, that can become stagnant sometimes, and getting out once in a while and painting with your peers is a very rejuvenating experience. Fred's awesome. I've been painting with Fred for years now. He's one of my painting buddies. He comes over with David Stupakis, every few weeks or so, and we paint together on our own canvases, but we have our little jam sessions, and then we do ArtFusion whenever we can. So I've painted with Fred quite a bit, and I always enjoy painting with him. He's a very lateral dude, he can really go off on a tangent into a different direction and adds a whole new aspect or elements to something we hadn't thought of. Fred's a professional painter, he's not a tattoo artist. So he brings a nice flavor in here from a painter's perspective that I think is fresh for the tattooers to learn from. And watching his way of thinking is always intriguing to me. I feel this one is turning out to be a real success. I can sense where it's going, and I can really, I'm excited. I can really see the collective vision here, and it's nice to execute together, and I think that we're going to have a powerful painting. Jesse Levitt, for example, one of our artists here that's painting right now, hasn't painted in about 6 years, and I could see he was a bit nervous getting started. But once he got into the groove, he really fell into place and really shined, And it's kind of like if I'm the old schooler, he's the new schooler. So it was fun to paint together. It's probably the first time that Jesse has done a proper art fusion, and he understands the important elements, having done it. It goes hand in hand with his tattooing, so these two things, these two mediums, enhance each other. I find a great balance between tattooing and painting. Every medium I work in feeds off each other and comes from the same creative place. I'm a big fan of working in multiple mediums because it opens your mind up to new exploration. My painting enhances my tattooing enhances my painting, my sculpture, my music. It all works together at the core. And for that reason, I love when new artists come along, like Jesse, that haven't painted in so much time, and it's like kids in a candy store, their eyes always light up, and it's cool. I always learn a lot, different techniques, different approaches. The thing that makes this special is you can almost see what the other artists are thinking, what they're thinking of doing, how they're approaching it compared to how you would have approached it. Sometimes you agree, sometimes you don't. The key to art fusion is leaving your ego at the door. You have to be able to let other artists destroy your creation. Destroy, I use that term in the sense of maybe recreate or add to or enhance, or essentially paint over what you did. You have to be able to do that. The only way you can do that is to learn to say goodbye to your art. I learned that from Felix Liu years ago, one of my mentors in art. And I understand it very clearly because, I think one thing that makes tattoo artists especially conditioned well for art fusion is that they say goodbye to their art every day. They put the same creative energy into a tattoo as they do a painting. And essentially, when the tattoo's done, you're never going to see it again. It goes out the door, gone forever, So after a while, you're conditioned to live with that and think more about the next one right away and just keep moving forward. Art fusion is very much the same thing, so it only makes sense that these guys are built for it as they are. I'd like to see it expand into other mediums of art, painters and such, sculptors even. It's really exciting when you stand back and look at the progression and the evolution of the painting. You're focused in one area for a little while, 15, 20 minutes. You take a step back and someone has done something crazy right next to you that you didn't even realize, and it changes everything. So artists learn to step back and look at the whole painting more frequently, which is very important for an artist to do. Art fusion seems to encourage that naturally. I've watched Darwin since he started painting a few years back. He has progressed at an unbelievable rate. Very proud of him. He's becoming an unbelievable painter, and I'm excited to see where he goes. Darwin really understands art fusion and enjoys doing it. He sees its importance, he sees its power, he sees the magic. And the fact that he is such a good painter now and has a very interesting way of seeing things, very creative, and he's a great plus for my team. He's a great example of an artist enhancing what he sees on the canvas rather than painting over it completely. You know, his approach is more about, well, how can I make this better? And that's important. That's an important aspect to this for it to be successful. This art fusion was especially fun for me because all of the artists involved are very skilled and hungry to do this, and we all enjoy doing it. And seeing them get inspired and obsessed over the painting is always exciting for me. I go through the same process. So many people over the years, people that have viewed Art Fusion, watched it happen. So many of these people written me letters telling me how much it inspired them, and they went home and picked up a sketch pad and started drawing, inspired by what they saw. When you're able to watch the artist conceptualize and progress through to completion, it is a learning experience. And even if you don't paint, but you want to, it's the type of thing that makes you feel like maybe you can do it too. I think that's a really cool thing that Art Fusion provides for people. Inspiration is key. Art is what it is, you know. You can use any damn color or any damn size brush you really want to. We've worked with artists in the past. I worked with an abstract artist once who came over and just smeared a big white blob across the middle of the painting, and all the tattoo artists were shocked, and one of them was even offended, and I had to laugh because it's a challenge. Make it work, you know. This is the style. So the painting ends up having an abstract element to it. It's still painting, it's still art. Many times we've had artists that don't even speak the same language, yet through the language of art, they have built a cohesive, finished painting together, never able to speak. That's strong. Well, I do hope you enjoyed the process of this painting. My rambling just fills in the silence. But I do hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing plenty more of these videos as we move ahead.